What's going on, everybody? How's you guys doing tonight? Quinn coming at live, Middle of the Earth podcast. It is Zero Attitude from Zero Latitude. Got a good little 20, 30-minute session for you this evening. It's going to be sweet and simple. Let me mute these things before I can... look at that. I thought I had it all set up. Look at this. All right, now we're good. We're going to have Scott on the TronTopia dev. He's here on the line with us actually right now. Scott, go ahead and say hello to the peoples.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Let them know what your, just give a little background just for anybody that might not know. I assume pretty much everybody that's going to be listening is familiar with yourself, or at least, knows the project. So if not, just give a quick background and tell us who you are.
Sure, yeah. I've been involved in cryptocurrencies for a little over 4 years now. Been working on TronTopia since beginning of the year, just after New Year's, kind of the idea formed, and we launched in beginning of May, and we've been going for almost 3 months now.
3 months. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is basically kind of, when we're going to try to get my screen. There it goes. Okay. Now I can see things. Oh, look, I'm in San Francisco. We're going to try to get a breakdown of the recent changes. I know that I was, we were hanging out doing a lot of marketing before, back around consensus time. I know that the volume kind of dried up after a couple hit and miss issues with just like some. I know that one was the hacking. That was probably the biggest hit, but two would have been just kind of, I think that the node issues were giving you a lot of trouble. How are those things looking right now? Is the speed of the rolls better? Is the cost down? Are people able to roll without getting stuck and freezing? Is auto roll working? How's that going?
Well, for the most part, it's better. I mean, there was a period of time where everything was working really well, and then about almost a month ago now, they did a upgrade to the public node to TronGrid to version 3.6, and ever since then, it's been hit or miss. Like, some days it works really well, some days it doesn't. I think it's region-based.
Right.
What I can say is the issues that we had that were causing rolls to stick, bets to fall and go missing. Those issues are fixed.
Okay.
Rules still do occasionally stick when the nodes are having issues. Some bets do still go miss, but we have the system in place now to make it really easy to recover those. So it's not when we first launched, we had so many right off the bat. We had a group of people. We had to create a separate group for them, to handle it all. Now it's 1 or 2 a day at the most type of thing, and it's really easy to solve. So it's becoming less of a problem, but we're working on a new solution that should actually help. Basically, if it's hard to explain, I won't get too technical, but we use a 2-transaction system, commit and reveal. We get the result immediately with the commit.
Okay.
When the player sends the funds, basically, we get the result at that point. We can basically completely eliminate TronGrid from being needed to finish that bet. We can have the result populated in our database by the player themselves when they do it, and then we can finish the list of bets basically that build up in our database, and then everything becomes reliant upon our database, and then we can use TronGrid as a backup.
Is that basically like a move for going off chain? Is that kind of what I hear there? Or?
No, it's still like the rules are all still happening on chain. We still can't fudge the rules. We have to submit the proper data.
Okay.
It's just switching from where we get the data from to finish it. So right now we use the chain to get the data. So we're gonna get the data from our database, which it has to be the same data. If it's improper data, it won't finish. So it's still perfectly on chain. Like you could still play the game fully on chain. If our website went down,
right,
another website could come up and operate the game no problem.
Okay.
To the contract. It's a way to make it so when people are playing through our site, they don't have these issues. It would be very unlikely, like if not impossible.
Secondary layer for making this the wagers go through and not having them fall through. Is that kind of how I'm understanding that?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just a little bit more of a reliable way to do it, that we don't have to rely on the public nodes.
Okay.
And that's the main issue. Is the public nodes have been, to be honest, pretty bad the last.
Pretty crappy. Yeah. I understand. Okay, so let's talk about this. So I know that there were a couple changes that were made after just as kind of almost like incentive to bring in new volume. I think that the goal was to get some daily miners in there. So walk me through. I know that there's vouchers, there's shares, the Topia, and we've also got a new thing, Diamond. So let's we'll backwards engineer this. I guess we'll start from the Topia. Topia can be used, or actually not Topia. Tron can be used to mine multiple things right now. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so you can go and you can mine Topia just like normal here on the site. Anybody watching can kind of just watch this like normal, right? So if I was going to mine vouchers now, how would I mine vouchers from within the site if I'm here and a new player and I don't know what I'm doing?
So you actually you get both just automatically. When you do a roll, you'll get a little bit of Topia, and you'll earn however much vouchers you should earn for your wager.
Okay. All right. So let's say I do a 100 roll, 100 TRX. I'm going to go nice and safe. We'll go 0 to 94, 5 to 97, whatever it is. And in order to get, so I'm rolling right now, and under what I would think I'm just doing a normal Topia roll, but right here I'm getting vouchers as well.
Yep. Yeah, like actually while the roll's going, you can go and look in the voucher panel. You'll see that you have some vouchers that you can burn.
Okay. All right. Let's check this out. Let's do a little bit.
Hopefully the roll works.
I do. Yeah, maybe I should have talked to you. I think the roll will work. It's okay. I actually haven't done this in a while. Maybe I should have even checked which nodes I'm on. I don't know what nodes I'm on. But okay, let's say I've got some Topia on this wallet too. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Roll worked. I got 103, so it's 3.76 was the payout. Looks to be, the same. What's that? That's a 1.5% house edge kind of thing.
Was that the classic dice game or the regular dice?
I think I'm not sure. Maybe it looks like ultimate dice, looks like regular dice. I'm not sure.
Was it range? Did you have a range bet? Yeah, you did a range bet.
I did a range bet.
Yeah, so it should be a 3.5% edge on that.
Okay, cool. So where would I see my my dividends that were worked? Okay, so I go up to dividends. Oh, okay, Topia, vouchers, and shares. And then if I want to come to vouchers, that 100 TRX earned me, where would I be at?
Should be right there where you can burn them.
Just under burn, so 0.8.
Yep.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so 100 TRX earned almost one, call it 0.8. And the goal is with vouchers, I can use those to withdraw for TRX or on any given day that I choose to, or what else? Or I can use them to burn. And how can I burn them for shares? Explain that to me real fast.
So if you actually go ahead and click the burn button, it'll pop up another box, and it'll show that there's a drop down there where you can basically choose to burn the vouchers just to go into the dividend distribution for the day for TRX, or you can choose to burn them for shares, which will actually mint the shares tokens.
Okay, and those shares tokens, what is their value? How's their value derived?
So basically, the shares system, there's a pool of right now it's 4 TRC 10 and 20 tokens. We can have as many as we want. We're probably going to go to 6 or 7 maybe eventually. 10% of all the dividends go to a wallet every day at distribution that purchases evenly amongst those 4 coins, those tokens. So say it's 1,000 TRX, we'll do 250 of each one.
Okay.
And then that goes right into that pool. That pool is that wallet. It's directly looking at the balances that are in that wallet. So, and then that distributes out through the shares smart contract once a day to the people with shares frozen. And you only can get shares by burning vouchers.
Only way to get shares is if you burn vouchers. Vouchers is earned through regular mining.
Yep.
Okay. And if it says here I want to burn for TRX, then I'm not going to get any shares. I just get only my TRX, right?
Yep, exactly.
Do I get a higher amount of TRX than I would if I burn for some shares, I assume?
You just get TRX. If you burn for shares, you don't get any TRX.
Okay, but it says right here burn for both. So what happens there?
It just splits it in half.
Splits it half and half. Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. Okay. So when I have my shares and I freeze them, that gets paid out 10% of the pool. Let me make sure I understand this. 10% of which pool? The pool from Topia's divs?
Yeah, the Topia dividend pool.
Okay, the Topia dividend pool has a 10% FIG off of it that goes towards the vouchers and shares, or just the shares? I guess the vouchers are just to burn, right, and get shares with.
Yeah, it goes right to the shares wallet.
Can you use vouchers to get diamond?
Yes, when we implement diamonds. So vouchers, that's another thing you'll mint when you burn a voucher, but it won't matter which way you burn it. If you burn it for TRX or if you burn it for shares, you're going to get a little bit of diamonds no matter what.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're missing out on what you could earn with diamond by burning for TRX every time.
Right.
Okay. So now that we know that the vouchers is a system that's mined from the TRX, the same way that the Topia mining occurs, and is used to burn for shares, which are then used to be frozen.
Yep.
Or what else can you do with shares? Oh, my dog might hear something. Atticus, be quiet.
Basically, they just freeze for the share dividend right now. I mean, you can unfreeze them. There's no timer for unfreezing them, no cooldown.
Okay.
They're tradable. We're working on getting it listed on an exchange, so it becomes a liquid asset that the platform actually allows to be exchanged. Because right now, I don't know if you still know, we're still trying to refrain from Topia being listed.
Right.
We have a lot of the major exchanges blocked. We're working with them to wait until the platform is a little bit further along.
Okay.
But with shares, it's a more liquidable token that we can list right away. So that also gives that daily miner who likes to mine and flip tokens and things like that.
Are you able to trade Topia right now on TronWatch? Just like I think I've seen before, it was
Yeah, you can do the OTC on TronWatch Market.
Okay.
Or just regular OTC. But basically all the standard dexes, they're all on a holding pattern until the token's a little bit further along.
Okay, so we've made mention of diamond. I kind of understand how shares work. Just to recap as to why the vouchers was just an incentive to create new miners, to get some miners in there every day, I assume.
Yeah, it's to give an incentive to the new player, right? Because the Topia is a little bit diluted,
Right.
The cost of it versus just buying it on the exchange, etc.
Sure. Okay, so we get some. Is it kind of similar to the dice, Vig, that's happening with Wink? I would say almost. You want to get new volume, so it's like a. Does it work similar? Does a kickback happen?
It kind of is, but I mean the different. It's actually, I would say, almost closer to Blaze. What Blaze is doing.
Okay.
It's more of a rigged pool where it's guaranteed. You're going to get these one-time guaranteed rewards every time you play.
It's not based off of people losing. It's just off of volume. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So no matter what, if you come and play, you're going to get something.
Okay. So there's some money that's going to be in there pretty much every day as long as there's a player. As long as the platform has anybody playing, there's money that'll be in there.
Yeah, and right now it only distributes half of it, so it has some carryover effect. So they're usually, we haven't gotten below, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 in the pool.
What's the other half go to? What's the...
Right now it's just carrying over.
And
until the next day.
Oh, into the next day. Okay, all right, I got you. Okay.
That changes though when the diamonds go into place. We don't have that carryover anymore because the diamonds will be getting it.
Well, then 100%, or the other 50% will go to the diamonds.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So you needed some volume. That's where the vouchers came in. Now it seems like we need to pull it all together. We need to get like an umbrella, Is that what diamond is?
That's what diamonds and what shares is all about doing, is to kind of put it all in circle,
Talk to me about what is diamond. I saw it's 100K, something about 20K of them for sale, and the rest of them, as soon as they're sold, are burned immediately, which locks in the only amount that have been minted plus the 20K at that point. So that part I've got, but explain the sales to me. That part's a little, for somebody that might not be, well versed.
Yeah, so all that what you said was accurate. The 20,000 that are for sale basically will be right on our website. There will be a button you can click, buy diamonds. It'll show you the price and how many are available at that price. There's 5,000 available at each of the price stages. 5,000 at 675 or 625. Wait, yeah, 625. 5,000 at 875. 5,000 at 1125, and then 5,000 at 1375. So the average price is 1,000. So you can either buy them or mine them. Some people I know right now are.
Let's recap real fast. Let's recap that fast. Okay, so 20,000 tokens are going to be for sale on the website. That's just a direct. They can buy them from you, right?
Yeah.
Those
through a smart contract.
Through a smart contract, yeah. Those initial are going to be sold in 4 stages, where the first stage's price will be 625 Tron per diamond token.
Yep.
Okay. Are those going to be able to be traded and sold anywhere on an exchange also, or are those only for locking and freezing onto the contract?
They are tradable.
Okay.
We're not gonna try to list it onto an exchange right away because
Right.
we want to get some
Funding.
of the sale done mostly because we don't want to create that issue where they're less expensive on the exchange and things like that, right? So we're trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do that. The coin is tradable. The functionality to trade it is built into the code. It's not a
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I could see people not wanting to plop down, hundreds of thousands of TRX if they couldn't trade it and if it had to be locked. But if they can get in on round one when it's guaranteed to be, it goes up 250 per, so the first jump will be almost 40% or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I could see somebody wanting to buy it. All right, so 5,000 blocks, 4 different, chunks. I assume there's no timer. If they sell out, they sell out as fast as they go. But if it takes forever, it takes forever.
Yeah, I mean, we won't let it go forever, but we expect it could take some time to sell out.
Sure.
Might take a couple months or something, but it'll just be there as an option for a while, and as long as they're selling and people enjoy it, then they'll stay for sale. But at some point, eventually we could just say,
it's done.
Okay,
we're locked.
It's done. We'll burn it. Yep.
And
we could just end it.
What's the other way to mint them? If you don't buy them off the website, how do you get diamond?
Just burning a voucher for either TRX or shares. You'll also get a little bit of diamond.
So, okay. All right, let me take a look. See if I can just burn this.
You won't get diamonds right now.
Not enough vouchers available to burn. Okay, I don't have enough vouchers. So what I'd like to, what's the voucher exchange rate for diamond?
It's one voucher will get you 0.001 diamond, or to put it easier, 1,000 vouchers.
Yeah, that got me earlier. I was thinking 100, but it's 1,000. So
yeah.
So 1,000 vouchers needed in order to burn for 1 diamond to be minted.
Yep.
How much does it take to get a voucher?
You wager 100. Today it's 125. It goes up every distribution.
So 125,000 Tron to get 1 diamond wagered.
Yep.
If you want to do it for the money. So that seems to me. I mean, assuming you said 3.5% house edge.
Yeah, it's going down to 3% tonight, but yes.
3% tonight. So 3% on 100,000 is what? 300?
3,000.
3,000. Yeah. What am I saying? Jesus Christ. 3,000. Wow. So it's like 1/5. It's 20% lighter just to buy than it is to try to mint these boys, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, in round like today, it would cost about 3,750 at a 3% house edge to mine one. So buying it is obviously
right. It's 125. Okay. So, and what's the final price from round 4 gonna be?
Round 4 goes up to 1375.
So it's still going to be like way under what it would cost to mint these things. Okay.
Yep.
And the idea being is that people are going to buy these because this is essentially how you can buy ownership of Topia at this point because the diamond is going to be what's controlling everything, right? I mean,
The diamond is basically going to be getting half of the platform, the half that, I don't know, the economics of Topia are kind of different. Like, we don't actually really control half of or 40% like most do anymore because we're broken out into shares and into vouchers and now into diamonds. So basically, it's really diluting what the owners own quite a bit. But it's worth it, if it brings in the players and the volumes, the volume, I should say.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, basically half of the house edge goes to Topia holders, which is 1.5% of the house edge for our main game. And then the other half goes to the diamond holders.
Have you guys done any math on what you think it'll be for ROI numbers? And if let's assume someone buys 100 of the diamonds right out the gate, they get them for 62,500 Tron. What are they looking at if they freeze those immediately on the time frame for? I mean,
it really depends on the volume.
Sure.
That's the thing. So it's hard to say for sure.
Let's go off of general numbers right now. Let's say off of 25,000 Tron a day, you're running. I think I saw something about you guys putting that in there initially as well.
Yeah, we're gonna add up to 20,000 a day. 10% of whatever we make in sales every day, the next day will be put into the voucher pool. Up to 20K, up to 2 million over 100 days, basically. Uh,
10%, 2 million off of the 20 million because it comes out to, you said 1,000 about per with, okay. All right. So,
so just with that alone, like the people who buy in the first round,
right.
they should ROI off of the first half of them anyway. Would ROI just off of what we put back in.
How long would it take them to ROI off of just the 20,000 coming back in? If they bought the tokens and then sat back and didn't do a thing and nobody else, not one person came in, and they're
And it's
only
just
going to be, and
rollers.
they're only feeding off of your 20K. Let's just, I mean, I'm just thinking the absolute worst.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolute worst. I mean, basically, we would
It's,
only put 2 million back in of the 20, so everyone would lose 90%.
yeah. Okay. So like
You
that's,
know, essentially, but the people at the beginning wouldn't. But
of course.
overall, the
Right.
overall loss would be 90%.
All right, so let's talk about, here's going to be the question, because all this is going to be contingent upon volume, right? That's what really the DApp space is, and DApps in general, successes or fails are hinged upon, whether they get a lot of volume.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys are in like a, it's I don't want to be a DApp dev right now, man. It is
It's scary. I know.
it's murderer's row out there, and you're starting at the top with Justin Sun swinging his big sword, chopping off anybody else's head who pops up that's not named Wink. So,
Yeah.
what's your plan to combat the monopoly that's taking place on the Tron DApp space?
We're going to expand. We need to get, I don't want to say get off of Tron, but we need to spread our wings and get onto some other chains.
Okay,
Um,
talk to me about that. What you thinking?
So we're looking a lot at, I shouldn't say we're looking a lot, but we're looking deeply into Loom, because Loom has some very unique aspects that allow you to utilize other currencies through smart contracts. So we could potentially, I don't want to say for sure, but it's possible we could have 4 or 5 currencies funneling through a single smart contract and dividend system.
Is that going to be like an atomic swap setup where you can just kind of?
Yeah, it's similar to that. It's very similar. The network basically talks to the other chains and does the swaps for you. A bit of a centralized system that handles it, but I mean it's a trusted authority basically. But it's smooth and it works really well and it's fast. And they also are incentivizing dApps to come over and do and build dApps on their platform. So we might be able to get more support from there than we do on Tron, which would be good. So Loom's one that we're really looking into. We're also looking into XLM. XLM's really
Hey, interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Stellar is basically headhunting Tron dApps right now.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, I guess. I mean, it's yeah. I've spoken to a couple, like, even just as recently as this last week when we were out there in San Francisco. I met a developer that was trying to shop his stuff, went through the whole process of getting it on Seed Germinator and everything, and then kind of just got shut down along the way. And this was within the accelerator program too. And I mean, this was a guy that had made a great a great video game. I was just, if he can't get on, what's going on? Why aren't these Tron devs getting any help? So
Yeah, that kind of, I've wondered the same thing for a while. We've reached out to Tron Foundation numerous times over the months. I mean, we've been at this since January, and we've reached out to them multiple times, never really gotten any support. We get some support from some of their core devs.
Right.
Rovak's a core dev, but he's helped us a bit. He's been very helpful.
I think Rovak is probably as miffed as you guys are right now. I mean, Tron Trade has gone from $1.5 million a day in U.S. dollars volume to they did $1 million this week, right?
Yeah.
So,
he went down like what is that like?
1/5. Yeah, it's an 80% drop. Yeah, it's a huge drop. And next week it'll be more. I mean, I think it's going to be and well, I'm sure that he's just patiently waiting until they load Dice or Live or whatever token they load back on there to support volume, but
That's and that will happen eventually. But yeah,
I think so too.
Everyone's struggling right now on Tron, other than Wink.
Okay,
for the most
so
part. And maybe Blaze, I think they're doing pretty well.
Blaze is still solid, man. They've stayed solid the whole time. I mean, it's slow and steady wins the race. I think with this one, that's one of the things that you said that what's your idea to combat this is to keep developing, keep updating. It's all you can do. So
that too. And the main thing is as long as we're here, we stay here, we stay developing new innovations and trying to make a unique and fun platform. That's I think a key. And if and when players all do come back to other dApps or when new players come to the space, positioning ourselves so that we can capture them.
I agree. Do we
But
have
also,
any? Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say also, spreading our wings, looking at some other chains, IOST, Loom, there's a couple other chain link. There's some options out there to where we could still be on Tron as well,
Right.
and kind of spread our wings to some new communities.
Do we have any? Do we have any of the questions from the AMA? I know that you guys had a Telegram group full of people. I've seen a couple of them. A couple questions. Where basically one of them was when can they expect Topia to be on an exchange? Do you have a general idea for that question?
Ideally, we would have liked to have had it on there already, but we haven't. We wanted to. The internal number we have is 20%. We wanted to get to 20% mined before we listed it.
And we're at what? 18%?
2.5%.
Ooh, 2.5%.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So honestly, that estimation has got to change and readjust, and we are actually considering listing it sooner than that. Obviously, way sooner. I can't say exactly when, but I can say that we're talking about it, and it could be something that we maybe put a vote up on the community channel sometime in the near future and ask if that's what people want.
I mean, is it trading with any liquidity on the P2P on the OTC exchanges right now on TronWatch?
It actually is. The value is pretty low, but there's a decent amount of order depth and
Let's take a look. I'm just gonna. I haven't checked it out recently. I've traded some. I've been trading Beatscoin on there lately. It's been an easy swing trade.
Yeah.
So Beats has got 100,000 on there. Let's see what you guys have got. Topia's got 9,000 today. I think I saw it at 25,000 the other day though, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, there's some days where it does pretty good. Usually when we make an announcement or release something, it goes up, which is
so it's buy is 1.7, sell is 3. It looks like it's spiked up to as high as 4.4 the other day. Kind of been trading in the 2 to 3 range. It looks like. It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but the problem is that it's so far away from the cost of mining on the site. That's one of the reasons we don't have a lot of volume.
True.
The value of the token isn't up high enough. I think listing on an exchange could actually help that, like officially listing on Tron Trade or Tron Market. It could help that value, because the platform becomes more liquid.
Of course. I mean, if people can sell the tokens that they mine, they're much more encouraged to mine. It is for me at least. I mean, I know that I'm not even considering myself as a miner. I consider myself a gambler, but I even like gambling and selling just to be able to continue gambling sometimes. So
exactly, it would be the most liquid platform probably on the network.
You think
with
so?
The amount of different tokens and
right.
With the percentage of the total funds that basically ends up going back to the player. It's I haven't done the exact math with all the with the diamonds and the shares, but it's got to be up in the 85 to 90% range. Actually kind of goes back to the players through those avenues,
Okay.
So it could be very a wise thing to do at this point. So we are talking about it.
Exchanges might like you for it. Maybe you can get some money out of them. I mean, I think that from my personal opinion, it does look like you're looking for financing, but I don't think that it's a wrong thing to ask because you guys are in the initial stages and you have the trust of the community in the sense of if I want to buy in and own half of Topia, it looks like I can do it for 20 million Tron.
Essentially, yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. Now, obviously, there's some protections in the contracts and not let one person do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's always possible on decentralized, but it's hard.
Sure. No, I'm just saying on a book statement,
For sure, yeah, we're definitely still in the funding stage.
So what are you gonna do? What are you guys gonna do with that money then? If you guys sell, let's say you sell the 5,000 tokens right out the gate, get the 3 and some change million Tron. That's funding the 20,000 Tron a day. That's funding what else is that doing?
Right, so 10%, yeah, 360, I think, thousand. It would be set aside to go back into the pool every day.
Okay.
25% of that would just be frozen for energy, which eventually would be used for our expansion.
Okay.
There's several options we can do there, and then 25% will be used to buy back Topia over time, a little bit every day, and burn it, so we can reduce the supply and help bring the exchange value up to above what it costs to mine, if possible, so that we can get some players back.
Okay.
25% goes to funding new game development,
Okay.
and then 15% just literally sits in reserves so that we can
25%.
have
25% new game development. 25% in a buyback burn program for Tron.
mhm.
15% is sitting in a reserve fund. 10% is going into the
Voucher.
the voucher funding of up to 20,000 per day.
Mhm.
And then what was the last 25%? I missed one.
Buyback and burn, game fund, reserves. Oh, energy bank, which is really
Energy bank. That's what it
it's
is.
just yeah, that's really just going to be the fund that's sitting there. That once we sell enough of them, we have a large enough amount of money sitting there to make it to do a big expansion, develop a big expansion like sports betting or poker room or something like that. Those funds would be used for that. It would just
Okay.
be frozen for energy until then.
So the expansion. Talk to me about the expansions. What do you think is the best way to bring in volume? Because right now, I mean, just personal opinion, I think it's not going to be easy to compete with Wink right now for the next 30 days. I think the best way to compete with them is to front run them where they're not. You know, I don't know. I think sports betting probably is the best way, just because
If we can beat them to it, that's the thing.
if you can beat them to it. Yep, that's
And do it better than them, or at least as good as them. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is everything that I just mentioned is either coming or it already exists. Poker tables, Wink's supposedly doing sports betting. I think there's a couple of other like small time sports book Tron sites out there that have popped up recently.
I've seen a bunch of people excited about the same thing. They're all talking about sports book and sports betting, and so I know the green screen is wrinkly. That's why it's fucking turned off.
It looks good on my end. I still see San Francisco.
Oh, do you?
I see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Let me here. Watch. I'm gonna make them see it now. Now they'll see the Golden Gate Bridge. Boom. All right. Now the green screen should work. You can't do a double green screen, but anyway.
So yeah, I mean, basically, we want to have that pool of money there so that when the expansion that is the best expansion option for us to do, like at that time, right now it's sport. It probably would be sports betting today.
Yeah.
If it takes us 3 or 4 months for these to sell out, that could change at that point. We'll make the best decision, and we're heavily considering using a vote token for the people who buy the diamonds.
A what?
Airdrop them. A voting token.
A voting token. Okay.
Yeah, so the people who buy the diamonds will, after the fact, once it's sold out, will airdrop everyone their vote and list some options for what they would like our expansion to be.
Because they own half the platform at that point, technically, right?
Yeah, exactly, and give them some say into it, and basically we would have to give them options that we know we could accomplish, and that for that amount of funds that we have, and whatever's the best options at the time that we feel, and then let them help us decide, let them be part of that decision-making process there. But essentially, yeah, 25% would just be sitting there in that energy, building up energy, which will help the platform, and also be used later on.
Can you rent out the energy that you would own frozen to other people? I've seen that,
You can. There's like there is a webpage, I think Tron Lending, where you can rent it yourself. I think you can rent it out to people there too.
I don't know, I was thinking out loud.
We use enough though. Like we would end up just using it.
Right, you guys. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we would just put it toward our wallet.
Okay, so let me recap what I can find. Vouchers were used to incentivize new daily miners to come into play, but now as a burn mechanism, shares were created. Shares are I guess vouchers and shares can get you diamonds. Is that correct?
Just vouchers get you diamonds, but you can get diamonds and shares with the voucher.
So what does shares do when they're burned? Or do
They don't burn, they just freeze.
They just freeze. And what share is going to end up doing then after this is done?
So they always get the TRC 10 and 20 distributions, which 10% of the dividend pool funds that.
Okay. The shares will always get 10%.
Basically, yeah. They end up getting 10%, but it's distributed in TRC 10 and 20 tokens. That way it's not these tiny amounts of TRX. It's a couple 100,000 of this token and that token, because it's such a large supply. It can't be TRX. It won't have enough to evenly split to all the people. So we have to use tokens that.
What do people get? So what do people get for holding shares then? I'm sorry, I just didn't. I thought I knew that, but.
Not you just freeze them basically for the daily shares distribution, which is TRC 10 and 20 tokens.
And they're just like random TRC 10 and 20 tokens, or they're...
Oh, okay, so right now they're BTT, USDT, IGG, and TWX.
Okay, all right, cool, all right.
Yeah, so you get some dividends in those basically every day with your shares.
And where are those coins sourced from to create the shares? People getting IGG and BTT, where does that come from?
So the 10% of the dividend pool goes to a wallet that purchases them evenly every day.
That's super
those
cool.
Are what, yeah.
Where are they bought on? What exchange? Can you tell me that?
I buy everything but USDT on. Actually, no, I buy it all on a Tron market, TRX market now.
Okay.
They're on TronScan. I was using TronTrade for the USDT, but I don't need to anymore.
But fuck the man. I get it. Okay. All right.
No, it was the price, the difference.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
So in that, who dictates? Are they always IGG, BTT, USDT, and TWX, or they switch around? Can they be different things?
They can be different, and we can add more. We can have less. Right now, that's just what we started with. We are gonna add some more. We're gonna put a poll up in our community.
Just like a nice way for people to kind of diversify their holdings.
In a way, yeah, and it also helps. It helps the whole space because it helps bring people around and send people to other dApps and check it out. You know, for example, the IGG that we're distributing, I didn't know this. You can freeze it.
Yeah.
And you earn orbs or something. So I got to look into IGG and see what that's all about. Apparently, that's pretty cool. You know, so it helps drive community growth.
I agree. Okay. All right. So the shares are then getting like a 10% pull that's buying different TRC 10 and 20 tokens that get dropped to them every day, depending on how many shares they have frozen versus everybody, which I assume, is there a large amount frozen right now, or?
Yeah, it's almost the same as Topia because Topia holders got a 1-1.
Okay, so it was a drop. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so from there, then shares are pretty much done with their line on down to the diamonds. We're only going to be working with vouchers, and vouchers get diamonds by burning 1,000 of them or buying them from the website's sale pool. Is that right?
Yep. You can also just burn one voucher and earn your share of a diamond too.
Like 0.001. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I kind of understand everything like that. I mean, let me look at some. I got some. Let me slide my. Well, you can't see that there. Yeah, you can. Look at that. All right.
Nice.
So yeah, let's take a look and we'll find out.
You got some questions up there?
What is Energy Bank? I think we answered the Energy Bank. That's going to be 25% stored towards, frozen funds and reducing player fees and whatnot. Green screen is wrinkly. Thank you. Fuck you. All right. If your hair was a bit longer, then the thing would be fucking up so hard. I don't know what you're saying about that. Blonde is the word. I'm not blonde. Goddammit. It's brown Jew. All right. There's a lot more people talking about my hair than anything else. All right. Can they add Topia to a diamond voucher swap? Can they add a Topia to a diamond voucher swap?
Ooh. It's definitely possible. I mean, it's something we haven't even
What's
thought
he
about.
asking? I don't even know what he's saying. What does he mean?
He's asking, can he trade in his Topia for diamonds and vouchers?
Oh, okay. What would that trade rate be? Do you even know? I mean, obviously, if it costs, 125,000 TRX wagered to get them on the vouchers, it would have to be the same thing on the Topia side or similar, right?
It would have to be like 100 to 1.
So 100 Topia to 1?
Yeah, because the supply, I don't even know. Yeah, we'd have to do some math, but I believe off the top of my head, it would have to be about 100 Topia to 1 diamond.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out then. That's not a bad question.
I guess it's possible. We'll see if that's something that we should do, but we have to run the numbers and make sure that
maybe some he says maybe some Topia owners would like some diamond without having to spending any more TRX.
That's smart, and maybe we burn those Topia.
Yeah, a couple people are actually saying that they agree with that. They like that. They I did have something. Yeah, another person's asking why the difference in classic dice and ultimate dice edge. I think there was a difference in the numbers. You and I had mentioned that earlier. Go ahead and make comment about that.
Gotcha. So right now, Classic Dice has a 1.5% edge. Ultimate Dice has a 3.5% edge. We're going to bring Ultimate Dice down to 3%, so it's exactly double. The reason that the games have a different house edge is because Ultimate Dice has so many other options. You can side bet, the range betting. It's a little bit easier to beat. It's not. I don't want to say it's you can't, it's not hackable or drainable, but there's more strategies that can be played with it. So we have to be a little bit careful. That game has a higher house edge because of that. But classic dice, it's just your standard over under. There's no range, no side bet. So we could lower the house edge on that game. And then what we did was we doubled the minting cost for vouchers on that game compared to what it is on Ultimate Dice, because the house edge is half. So
okay, so I get games easier to beat. You gotta have a different house edge. What you said something about changing it later on tonight that they'll be the same though? Is that how I understood that?
No, right now it's skewed a little bit. Like right now, it's more beneficial to play classic dice. You'll mint more vouchers for your wagers than you would if you played on Ultimate Dice, because the edge is slightly different.
Okay.
So tonight I'm going to lower the edge on Ultimate Dice to 3 instead of 3.5.
Okay.
So that way it's exactly double.
And does classic dice feed the voucher divs as well, or no?
It does, yeah.
It does. Okay.
So half of the house edge for each game goes into the voucher pool. So on classic dice, it's 0.75% rake to the voucher pool. On Ultimate Dice, it's 1.5% rake.
Because of half 3, half 1.5. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me take a look up. Scroll up. More questions there. He says. All right. Let me go ahead and scroll up. I got you. Get over here. There it is. All right. All right. Schlong bong. Nope. Yeah. Vouchers are needed for the vault. The fuck's a vault. Timer-based jackpot. Burn a voucher to try and place the top 13. So it's definitely worth a buy. Yep. Mining is just a bonus while you accumulate shares and vouchers for vault and 30% of the share from the automatic funding. I do think it's important that you're going to try to consolidate everything into a cohesive, because I got confused. It is. It's confusing. We want to basically do away with, not do away with vouchers, but make them not have so many options. You know what I mean? Okay. So diamond holders will share the Topia house edge. I mean, in a sense, kind of if you wanted to play, I guess. But so if Topia does well in the future, it'll be worth it. Old miners mean they 50-50 with the new dice voucher owners. Yes. Is like our Topia will be worth 50% less. No, because the Topia, it's always had a 1.5% approximate dividend pool. And didn't you airdrop 1-to-1 any Topia holders the shares or the vouchers? I mean, the shares we did, the vouchers no, but when the voucher system went into place, the house edge was adjusted so that the Topia dividend pool would still be about the same size as what it's always been. Okay, so you adjusted the rake on assuming that volume would stay the same in an effort to offset the loss. Okay, I get what you're saying. But still, the current Topia holder is going to go ahead and lose 50% of their future divs, right? No. Okay. Because it always would have been. I mean, diamonds aren't doing that. Let me put it that way. The Topia holder always had 1.5% of the house edge for Ultimate Dice. When we first launched, the Ultimate Dice was only 1.5% house edge. Right. So most of the people who mine, the current people who have Topia, mined it at that house edge. Okay. But we added voucher. Sorry, go ahead. I guess I'm understanding right now is like the adding of the diamond doesn't cut their dividend in half? No, because it's taking it from the voucher dividend, which was already gone anyway. Okay. Yeah, when we added vouchers, we increased the house edge to 3%. Okay, I know what you're saying now. I see what you're saying. So but still, it's kind of like it's gray area. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, we did it as best as we could. We were trying to bring in volume, which would help. Right. You're doing it to help the project. I know you're doing it for the good of the project, and that's something that, even as if I'm saying to this Snipero, which is a badass name by the way, I like it, is by saying that the old miners 50-50 with the new diamond vouchers. Kinda, yeah, bro. It's kind of like the Wink setup where they're saying, look, it's better that you get 35 or 70, 65% of big ass divs that might come than 100% of divs that we definitely weren't getting. So this is a mining attempt to bring in new volume, I assume. It definitely is. Not going to avoid that, but we try to set up our main game so that those people still get the same. So they got amount of TRX coming. Right. So that they got compensated on the back end. I got what you're saying. Yeah. And it might still work out that way. I think that the idea of a Topia to Diamond trade out is a good way to make sure that they feel included.
That is, I agree.
You know, so let me take a look at what else. I got some stuff down here. Scroll up, more questions there. Diaper, Sniper, can they do? Yeah. Sniper had some good questions. Everybody else, any plans to add BTC or ETH betting?
Yeah, Ethereum is not too hard to do because of the chains we're looking at for multi-chain, Loom, Link. They make it very easy for Ethereum.
Right.
Bitcoin, we would have to basically completely go off-chain, and we are actually looking and considering, like, one of the expansions options would be an off-chain full-blown actual casino where we can accept Bitcoin, Litecoin, everything.
Just like a website that we can send it in like a normal website. Lucky
like
Games.
BigCasino.com, I think is one. Yeah,
okay.
Like something like that, but Topia.
Sure.
And it would also tie into our dividend system and everything. Something like that, yes, we do eventually want to do. That's kind of our ultimate goal, is to have a wing of Topia that is covering everything, and it's all umbrellaed together.
Right.
So yes, in the future, but I mean, it's one of those things where it would be on the list of potential expansion options for the Diamond buyers.
Whatever's best for the future community, basically. Whatever's best
at
for
that
volume.
time.
Right. I get what you're saying. Okay. All right. We got 20 people in here, man. Let's get some more questions. We got I wish I could scroll down and see who's in there. So I could call you fools out by name and get you to start asking them. What do you want to talk about? You got anything specific that you want to mention while you got the floor?
Well, I want to just make a couple of notes here, but I want to see if we can do that. I want to follow up on this and see if we can do that, because that does make sense, in my opinion.
I just broke my fucking thing. What did I just do? Yeah, I do think Topia swapping for diamonds is actually a good suggestion for sure. I think the
there was another one.
Ask Quinn what he said. You guys got some weird ass fucking people.
I know people were wondering, like, what will we do after the diamonds are done with the voucher burning?
Yeah,
like,
it's another one.
It'll become more useless, so we need to have a solid plan for that in the future.
It's all going to depend on like what you guys do with the money too. If you can take the money and develop a new game, that's okay. What's your plan for new developments in the future?
Yeah, new developments. Okay.
Is Scott soon? I don't think Scott is soon. All right, we got a whole bunch of new questions.
Someone thinks I'm soon. I'm not soon.
Lucky one, yeah, Scott. Lucky now. Okay, thanks. Did Scott mention anything about token betting feeding the shares pool?
Oh yeah, okay. So that's sort of one of the key reasons why we actually added shares as well, not only to complete the whole economic wheel of providing a long-term incentive for burners, but was also we're adding token betting very soon. We're going to be adding BTT and TWX. Those losses are going to go into the shares pool.
Into shares. Okay. All right. So that's where shares got a little bit of extra value. So not just the 10% of the other of the buyback and TRC 10, TRC 20, but it'll also get fed by BTT losses. And is that every other token that you add on?
Every token that we have token betting except for Topia, because Topia with token betting will be a burn mechanism.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Burning the Topia with that, but with the other tokens, we're gonna have it feed right into the shares pool, so that way that should create a lot of value in the shares pool.
Sure, more for sure. At first I didn't understand what shares was worth, but that kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. Where are all the admin chicks go? We need more booty. What the fuck? All right.
I could probably guess who asked that.
You got a couple of people that are asking. All right, so future marketing steps. Okay, that's a good question. What are the Topia deck status? When will the new website release?
Will the Topia deck site?
The
new UI maybe.
Yeah, new UI and Topia decks. When are those things coming out?
So new UI, it's honestly mostly done, but what we realized is that we didn't have the new shares panel, the new diamonds panel, and all that designed on the new UI. So we, rather than halt development on those things while we added it to the new UI, we decided let's get these things out first, and then we'll add it to the new UI and release it. So the new UI, I would say, within a week or so, we should be able to have it finished up and out.
That was a lot of word dancing for a week. I thought you were going to say like month.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be out about a week ago, right? So I'm trying to explain a little bit why we pushed that part back.
I got you. Okay. All right, so a week for the new UI. What about the Topia decks? What's that looking like?
Topia decks, it's actually further along than people realize. The contract is mostly done. It's mostly fully tested and working properly and everything. Where we are currently at in development is we need to tie that contract into the UI, build the JavaScript code for it, which is probably the most brutal part because it needs to be perfect, it needs to be smooth and a good user experience. So
true. Right
now I don't want to say it's on hold, but we just recently finished the testing. So until we basically finish these little bits that we're working on right now, we won't be able to get back over to it.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. It's on hold is good. It's on hold because of valid reasons. It's better than launching something that doesn't work.
Within a couple months, I would say we should have it up and running. Within a couple months, that I can probably guarantee.
What's going to be the Topia Dex? Because this is actually the first time I've heard about it.
So Topia Dex, basically, it's another platform that's tied to the Topia network. And it will be very similar to like any other DEX like TronTrade or TRX Market, except for 90% of everything the platform earns goes right into the shares pool and right into the dividend pool. So
into the shares and dividend, or just shares, or
both.
How's it split?
So like if we have some trades where the fees are taken in token. So we're going to have the option of paying the fee in the token that you're selling or buying.
Let's assume it's all paid in TRX. Let's assume that, which it's not a great assumption. Or I guess it would be the trade token, wouldn't it? Is it only going to be a TRCX and TRC20 platform for exchanges, or?
At first, yeah.
Okay.
We are going to we have to build a back-end system to do cross-chain, but we want to because we want to be able to have everything run through our DEX.
Not? Absolutely, for sure.
So initially it'll all just be on Tron, but we're going to have the option of being able to pay for the exchange fee in the token you're selling or buying instead of paying it in Tron.
So that allows the house to get a large, TRC20 token that might or might not explode in value, and they can then pass on to their users. Is that kind of the thought?
It's kind of the thought, and it's also kind of the thought that there's a lot of tokens where you have to trade a lot of them to make it worth to spend the 2 to 10 or whatever TRX fee it is to do it.
Right.
So if we can take the fee in the token that's being traded itself,
instead of in Tron, yeah,
and then we can use that just to feed right into our shares as well as Tron. If people decide to pay Tron for their fee, then that would go into divs.
Is it half? Or does it just depend on if it's Tron or it goes into the Topia div pool, and if it's TRC 20 tokens, it goes into shares, or how does that work?
Have you ever used Crypto Bridge? It's an exchange.
No.
Okay, so on that exchange, they have an option that when you go to buy a token, you can choose what token to pay the fee in.
Right.
So if they choose to pay TRX, that's going to go to the divs.
Okay.
If they choose to pay in the token, it's going to go to shares.
Which divs? They go to the Topia divs?
Yep,
or the Diamond divs? All of it would go to Topia divs?
All the Topia divs. And same with our Blitz sister platform. That's another thing that I want to point out to the Topia holders is that all of our sister platforms and umbrella platforms, it all feeds Topia divs. It doesn't. The vouchers and diamond system is fed by TronTopia. Topia divs are fed by everything we do. All of our sister platforms are.
What's Blitz? What's Blitz?
Blitz is it's going to be heavily focused on global PvP games. It's a sister platform. We released a couple screenshots of it about a week and a half ago, I want to say. But basically, it's our first game is going to be a wheel game, a ring type of game, but based on the amount that you wager will determine your size on the wheel. Let me see if I can send you a picture.
I've got this as well. So this would have been a really helpful way to I should have pulled this up earlier, I think, but this is kind of a breakdown of just the assets that are currently on board. Topia, Diamond, regular voucher, Topia shares. This would have been super helpful to start off with, but now if you're here along with us, I'm sure that you've kind of got your at least we got a breakdown. I know exactly how this stuff works now, so there's no,
Yeah.
Everybody else watching stuff.
That diagram helps, at least let you look at each one. What does this do for me,
Right. Okay. All right, let me look at some other questions. I know that we had some more. Careful scrolling through the private messages, Holmes. Hey, what'd you see, buddy? You're looking for stuff, aren't you? All right. So, ask Scott if he enjoyed conducting the interview nude. Probably.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sweating because there's so many fucking lights in front of me. I have like 7 lights. It's so hot in here from the light. Okay, so if Scott had to pick one thing to add as a feature to Topia, and that was, oh Jesus Christ. Okay. I bet he would say Russian. You've got some trolls, man. Careful
I
trolling for
know.
private chats. All right, they're mostly asking whether you like Latin women or Asian women. So,
I like Canadian women.
Canadian Asian women. He said. All right, let's talk about a couple other things. I do see the sister platform. Do you have other sister platforms, or is Blitz going to be the only one for right now?
Blitz and Topia decks are the only ones on the
Blitz and
docket
Topia.
right now.
Okay. Do you have?
And those, let's say,
I was just going to ask if you had plans for future collaborations.
basically, these are probably going to be the only ones that are on Tron.
Okay.
All the other sister platforms will be like Ontologytopia, iOStopia, Vettopia, Loomtopia, Linktopia, the chain of all the other chains migrating into one dividend pool under Topia, and that's what we would use Topia Dex's back end for, is to make that work.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it sounds like you've got big plans. Let me ask you this: Okay, I did see one question. What are your plans for marketing? How are you going to get people incentivized to come back? I mean, I know that you're going to have to hope that it dies down in the next 30 days with TronBet or with Wink or whatever it's called. How are you going to get them to come over?
I mean, a lot of it is exposure. We got to get the word out. We got to start, doing things like actually advertising to on YouTube and having some articles posted up and Reddit and things like that. We used to do that a lot more before we launched. Now that we're launched, it's like we're a little too busy to really do that like we used to. We used to be very good at it, and we still are, but we've definitely taken a step back from it. We got to get back to doing that.
Okay.
There's a lot of paid advertising opportunities that we could be doing. There's banners on DAP review sites and things like that we can throw up. All that stuff really helps, but the biggest, most important thing is to have everything working well. Let me put it this way: I think everyone in Tron knows about us.
Yeah, you can get a picture with Justin's son.
Exactly.
We're in Topia, but it doesn't do anything if people can't go wager and it work. So
exactly, everything needs to work well.
That's true.
The ecosystem needs to be understandable and profitable. Everyone knows who we are.
I think so
Tron.
too, man. I really think so too. That's
Yeah, so that's kind of our main. That's why you don't see a lot of marketing right now, is because we're trying to recapture the market that already knows that we exist.
Right. You don't have to I don't think you really need to market that much either. I think people know who you are. I think you have to focus on having a product that will work every single time, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that comes down to a lot of node issues too, which is kind of why if going off chain to ensure bets is the way, man, I don't know, man, that might be the way.
A full-blown off-chain casino would be one way, but even just tracking the bets on a database and using that database to finish them. Yeah, that's the best way, and we can implement that relatively quick after these updates are done.
Not bad. Do we have any more questions, guys? We got people in the chat with us. Let's see where my shit's at.
Look at the AMA channel here. Where is it? No, nothing new really. Sniper asked, why don't you use 50% of the diamond vouchers to buy back and burn them? Okay, I already answered that.
Just give Justin 15% and he will shill like a mofo. What about some whale offers, like for every 100,000 TRX lost on Topia, you will receive back 20%. We need some whales on Topia.
I mean, we could do that, but honestly, it just doesn't feel like a very high etiquette move.
Where would you fund the payback?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have to take it from the dividend, we'd have to definitely do shady things, I think, to do that. And honestly, that's one thing Topia's always been about, is doing it straight and narrow and staying on the right side of etiquette with that kind of stuff. And
if it's a community driven thing, I don't think it's terrible. But my question would be is, how do you fund? Like, let's say, is it funded every day? Do they get it paid back every day? So it's funded off of that. You can do that only one a month.
Where do we get their money?
Yeah, well, if we do it only once a month, though, like, does that mean? I guess it would have to go into a fund that would then accrue the. Yeah, huh.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible to do it in a community-driven way where it's all transparent and everyone sees exactly what's happening. And it's totally something that we could do. But I kind of feel like
It's a little tough. A
what
little
we're
tough.
doing with the putting back in from the voucher
Right.
diamond sale is
Right.
kind of doing that already.
Alrighty. Well, now that we're watching Tron just kind of struggle for us
Oh,
all, go ahead. You got something?
I gotta make sure that the voucher dividends go. It's about that time.
Oh, okay.
Voucher dividend distributed live. Yeah, so we have automated scripts, but they're not actually enabled because we have so many different things, and we're still adjusting when and where we want everything distributed. So I actually manually distribute
This 10,000, this
the.
9,800 that's getting ready to go out to you, huh?
Well, I'm distributing it to everyone else, but yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so there's 1,478 vouchers are burned across the network. And how many are normally burned per day?
I see anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6,000.
Okay.
One time I saw over 10,000. Like when we launched shares, a lot of people burned
What's the
that
biggest
one.
what's the biggest dividend day you've seen?
On vouchers, on launch of vouchers, we had over. I want to say it broke 100K.
Nice. Okay.
It was at least 75K or 80K. It got way up there.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All right, that's not bad. I like that.
Yeah, it definitely works. Like if we get let me put it this way, if we get 1 million in volume, that's 15K into the voucher pool.
All right.
So
And if there's only a 1,500, frozen, you're getting what, 1 to 10 there on a 15K?
yeah,
Okay. Not bad.
it's not bad honestly. I've seen about the best I've seen on the voucher pad is 7.5 to 1.
Seven and a half
So
to 1. Okay.
one voucher burned was 7.5 TRX. Yeah.
Look at that pre-burn estimate 24. All right, that's very cool. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I'm learning the new system. I've just it's kind of unique to
It's
see.
definitely unique. Yeah, some of was partially planned. Like some of these ideas have been thought of a long time ago, and we're just now implementing it when they were going to be going in later. But shares was that, but the voucher system was actually kind of a community idea.
Right.
When we did the last AMA, we spoke with a few of the people who were a part of that one a lot, and they helped us come up with the voucher system, and it works really well. Honestly, we want to keep it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fun incentive. There's a couple guys. There's one guy, he has about 18,000 vouchers
Damn.
just saved up, and he's
Just
going to cash
waiting.
them in.
Just waiting. Okay.
Just waiting. But he didn't know about anything coming. He was just waiting, and he's going to be able to cash them in probably for some diamonds.
Okay. All right. That's
It's pretty
not
cool.
bad. Yeah. That's not bad at all. All right, Scott. What do you have anything else that you want me to hit on, buddy? We got anybody in there? Rank anybody can help us? Did I miss something? Tiny little visual bugs been solved in the new UI. Have we got all the visual bugs in the new UI solved?
Visual bugs meaning like that's not going through, or
I'm not sure. It just says tiny little visual bugs has been solved in new UI question mark.
I think so. I mean, a lot of them
Like
are
pre-burn
mostly.
estimates.
Oh yeah, those actually are accurate right now. Except for here's the thing: the reason why people don't see it as accurate is when you burn, it leaves a little bit amount behind. So after the distribute, it'll. I wish I could show you my screen, but like right now it says I can burn 14 vouchers for 2,496 TRX, but that's because there's 0 burn. So
Okay.
we actually do have them accurate, but there is still some other visual, like I would call visual bugs, like when you freeze, you have to close the panel and reopen it to see everything update.
Okay.
Little things like that we are going to fix in the new UI, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me see. Mid-Earth, will you mine? I will. I'm gonna sit back and watch, but if it's taking off, I'm cash poor right now, fellas. I liquidated a lot of my TRX holdings a couple, 3-4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago when I was in San Francisco the first time. I needed money. I had to pay for visas. Had to pay for all kinds of stuff. I actually sold all my Blaze, which I really didn't like doing. But again, it paid for everything. So, and this was also when Tron was back around 3 cents. So I got lucky. I got out then. I haven't rebought any Tron yet. I'm still waiting. I'm completely waiting in Bitcoin right now. I've got Litecoin and Bitcoin. That's what I've got. And
That's what I think a lot of people are doing right
I'm
now.
just nervous about it. Yeah, man. I've got plenty of TRC20 tokens. I've just got like hundreds of thousands of dog and do, and I'm gonna rebuy Blaze. That'll be the one. I mine dice heavy. I've ROI'd on that. I'll be ROIing tomorrow, I think. So that'll be good. And then I'm just gonna sit back. I'm not gonna mine any more dice. I'm gonna use those divs to just kind of probably slow buy Blaze back. I'm just gonna chill right now, man. Tron is a little nerve wracking for me. It got beat up on. I want it to. I was hoping for a big push with this Buffett lunch, like everybody else was, and trust me, no one's more disappointed than myself that I didn't get to meet the dude. So,
it didn't look too good when he. Honestly, I personally, I think he should have stayed at home from both.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm glad I got to meet him. I wanted the picture, but.
Yeah, it didn't look very good, and that some people tweeted out like, "Oh, you're too sick for Warren Buffett," and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, it didn't look good at all. I know that he wasn't. I mean, he definitely wasn't partying. He wasn't. He was sick.
One thing I'll say is he's probably got a ton of pressure under him to show up at these things and be there.
I bet so. I mean, when you've got people saying that you're in China under custody, under Chinese custody, CoinDesk, not people, CoinDesk said that. They tweeted that and that's probably what motivated him to come out a little bit. I don't know. I think he probably would have shown up anyway, just because I think it's that's how he is. He's his personality, but he didn't feel good. I think he needs a professional. The thing is like he needs somebody that he'll listen to, because nobody in that office. I don't think anybody in that office has got the ability to stand up to him or to tell him, "Hey, you're fucking up. Like, don't do this. Take your phone away from you." Or I don't know. Like,
well, the one, his like right hand that we were talking about earlier. I think he's the guy who really should. I don't know. Is he publicly known? Is that kind of talk about him?
Cliff?
Roy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the one who really probably should. Kind of take over a little bit, because he has his finger more on the data space too.
Roy definitely does. I think I think Cliff should be the one that's. I mean, Cliff worked for Google, Netflix, Business Insider. He was a journalist for them, and covered Steve Jobs for years. The dude is really well versed. He's way bigger heavyweight than you. I had no idea. Like, when we were sitting down for the dinner, he was telling us old Steve Jobs stories like it was nothing. It was really cool. It was super cool to listen to, like Steve Jobs would like bitch him out and get mad at him and kick him out and then say, "I'm not talking to you ever again," or give you another story, and then be back the next year like on the phone with, So I think Cliff is completely in the position. Like, even when I gave Cliff hard questions, you could tell he parlayed them. He was just playing mental chess with me, and he was good. He was able to say the right words to answer the question, but not say anything that made the company look bad. So he should be on it, I think, every single day.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Justin's definitely surrounded by some very, very smart people, and I think what it is partially is he's really young. Justin's he's a young guy,
Super young, dude. He's what, 28? 28? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, he's definitely not 30. So he's young. So it's gonna take. I still have full faith in Tron. Don't get me wrong. I still think that Tron's going to be just fine. I hope whatever's going on right now gets worked out. But I think as Justin matures and becomes a real leader in the industry over the years, I think that's when we'll see Tron really do well. It could take some time, but I mean,
sure.
If we could look 10 years in the future, I could see Justin becoming, someone like a Bill Gates, someone like a Steve Jobs.
I agree.
That's how they were when they were his age.
And they just, go fast and break things kind of thing. And,
yes.
I do agree with what you're saying there. He is, dude, when I was 28, man, which was 3 years ago, a little wildcat, I think I still was running 100 miles an hour, just
still in college, just kidding.
Yeah, just 5 years ago, I was really a wildcat. So, I can imagine what he'll be like in 3 or 5 years, so. I do agree. It's got a long future. I'm concerned about how they're going to transition from the reputation of gambling only to the future. But, I think Beatscoin is like a good... I like Beatscoin a lot. I like their project. I like their what they're doing. If they can do it, cool.
And it's going to take more projects like that coming over that are not just gaming.
I agree.
Topia will always be related to gaming, but I do agree. The space as a whole could use some ingenuity,
Yeah, something different.
Let's bring some banking industry over. USDT was a good thing, but it brought some true utility to Tron.
Let's. I've got a couple more. Let's see. It's very important for newcomers to have a non-bug platform. It's the first impression. I think that's very. You would agree with that. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Who's this? Cliff. Cliff is the director of communications for the Tron Foundation. I'm not gonna put his second name out there because he doesn't. So.
Yeah.
He's the bodyguard in the pictures. Very nice guy. And then I also like Beatscoin IGG. I agree, guys. There are definitely some good projects that are going to be out there still that can provide value to Tron holders. Topia and looks like Diamond are going to be one of them in the future. So let's see what you have a time frame for everything. When's all this going?
So Diamonds, we could launch Diamonds tomorrow, but we're not gonna. We're gonna probably wait about another day just to make sure people. If anyone has any questions, or if we do say we want to implement the Topia burn for Diamond swap, something like that, we could add in the next 24 hours and then go live.
It's quick.
But I'm thinking Tuesday morning we'll launch Diamonds. After that, all we have really left is to get the referral system and the leaderboard off the chain, which is to reduce the energy fee on the rolls, and then the new UI, which will be about a week or so total to finish it up from the time we start that to
new UI in a week, Diamonds in 2 days.
Yeah.
Decks in 2 months.
It's about 9 days for everything, for all that. Decks within
2
month
months.
or 2. 2 months, yeah.
Okay. All right. Guys, the barcode is still on your glass. Yeah, it is. I got these from Walmart. Yeah. Mason cups because I broke the other ones. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. If you aren't doing so already, give me a follow. Catch me here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whatever it is, Mid-Earth Crypto. Scott, as always, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you answering the questions. And if I can do anything else for you, you good? If I need to answer any questions?
No, I guess that was it. Thanks everyone for coming. Please go ahead and check out our PDF. We have it pinned in our main chat. It has some information about the Diamond vouchers. You can check that out if you have any questions. It's probably answered in there. And then also we'll post this diagram that you probably had up on your screen there at some point that shows all the tokens.
There you go. So the PDF will just have like a more detailed breakdown of everything?
PDF just has a breakdown of the Diamond sale and the Diamond system, and then what you put up on the screen has sort of a more overall explanation for everything. Yeah.
Okay. And guys, for anybody watching that wouldn't already know, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you do know, but if you don't, TronTopia's pinned message right here is what they're talking about. This is going to be the PDF that they're mentioning. Come here to their Telegram to check it out if you guys want to do more. Looks like it's a 3-page, little explanation. Kind of gives you, oh, that's nice. That would have been good for the, all right, well, that's actually, let me just look through this now. That's kind of way easier. Man, doing all this in my head and not being able to see the numbers on the screen. Yeah. I'm a visual learner guy. This helps a lot more. So, great. All right, Scott, I'll leave this up there. People, go check out the Telegram if you need to. But other than that, keep your eye out the next 7 to 10 days for the updates. Diamond going to be coming to you, and Topia decks coming in 2 months. Still lots of updates, lots of work. They're not giving up. Sounds like the plan, the team is all still fired up and ready to go. So,
yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem, buddy. Peace.
Yeah.
Bye.